Hi, I'm Pam Demore, the Decorating Diva, and this is National Sewing Month. So I'm going to share with you some of the things I've been working on. We just finished 2 back-to-back boot camps on bags. And if you're interested in doing doing a boot camp with us in the spring, let me know. I do have 6 people on my waiting list right now, so they have first opportunity to get in, but we could probably do 2 again like we did before. So I'm kind of continuing with my alphabet series. So y'all know, y'all saw the letter C, and that was the Chrissy clutch. So this is the letter D, and this is the Debbie Duffel Bag. And the ladies loved making this. In fact, all of them, the ones that flew home today, this is the bag they carried on the plane. So that was kind of fun. And so they carried that on the plane with all their stuff. So that's letter D. Letter E is the Emma envelope, and this is named after my friend Emma Seabrook, which I know a lot of you know. So this is just designed to be a simple little waist bag that you would wear. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't always have pockets. A lot of times I don't have a pocket on my pants, and my pants are in my top. So this is just a little bag that you wear around your waist. Move the chair here so you can see this. You just wear this around your waist, and you can put your phone in here. Is my phone in here? I don't think it is, but you can put your phone in here. I put my phone in here. I put a couple little doggy treats, a poop bag, and the little remote control that zaps my dog when she barks. So, I mean, that's just what I put in there, but you could do most anything, but it's a nice little flat bag that can basically be an extra pocket. And that's the M envelope. By the way, none of these patterns are ready yet. You get to see them before anybody else. They're not ready yet. We're still in the editing process, and we have to do the tutorials. So we're still working on, but I wanted you to see what we were working on. So that was the letter E. So after the letter E is the letter F. And we named this after our good friend Fran, who is on tonight. And we're calling this the Franny Pack. Okay, see, this is just a nice little crossbody bag that kind of hugs you. And you can make it left-handed or right-handed. And it's got a zipper here, 2-way zipper with a nice little pouch here. There is a zippered pocket on this side, and then a little slip pocket on this side that you can put your phone in or something that you want to keep close to your body. The thing that's really nice like this, as well as with this guy right here, the lining has a zipper in it. And I'm sure this is my prototype. This one doesn't have the zipper, but they do. This pattern does have the zipper in it. But the pattern at the bottoms have zippers in them. And I just, in making these patterns, I tried to do some patterns that didn't have a zipper in the bottom of the lining. And I was just struggling with it. And I thought, what the hell? I'm just going to put a zipper in the lining of all my bags that have a loose lining, because it's so much easier to put the bag together. It really is so much easier, especially like with this bag. It made all the difference in the world as far as getting in there and finishing the lining and getting in there and putting in the bottom and the bag feet and all that, and doing the strap tabs on the side. It was just way easier to do it with a lining in the bottom. So whether you're using one of my patterns or somebody else's, if there's a loose lining, not a lining like this one where the lining is actually attached all the way. If there's a loose lining, do try to put in a zipper in the bottom of the lining and just see how much and the thing is, when you do that zipper, you can finish it at the very end, because then the bottom of the bag is open. You can get in there, you can get to the seams, you can press them, you can put your bag bottoms and your bag feet, whatever you need to do on the sides of the bag and the bottom of the bag. But once you put that zipper in, it's so easy, because you just put the slides on, and then what I do is open up the inside and box the corners, and it's done. Easy peasy. We did the possibility bag. This bag doesn't have a letter from the alphabet yet. We haven't really named this, but this is really cute. We did some embroidery. So everything that I tried every project taught a new technique. Like this one showed how to use the rounded corners on my 7-corner ruler and the box corners. And we learned different pocket insertions. We learned different ways of doing stabilizer. We learned how to quilt with the different foams. This is the Gracie Go bag. It's a little organizer and super, super cute. This one and the Franny Pack were their favorites. So this is kind of a wallet / purse in one. Okay, zippered bag here, and then nice magnetic pocket to put your cell phone in. And then you open it up, and it's a double wallet. It has a key fob for your car key, or if you have just the fob that you have to have on you. And then so there's a double wallet. There's money on both sides, place money on both sides. And then in this part right here, this big part, I put my passport in there. I put a comb in there. I put my receipts. You can put a checkbook in there. So you can put a lot of different stuff in there. So it's a great, great organizer. This is the letter G, the Gracie Go Bag. And then this is the letter H. Letter H. Oh, and the Gracie bag is named after Terry, who is my business manager. You're like, well, how did you get a G from Terry? Well, Gracie is her husband's little pet nickname for her. So we named it after her. And then this bag is the Hopkins handbag. We named it that way because Diane Murphy, who does the webinar or does the mission trips with me, her maiden name is Hopkins. But this is fun because with this one, they got to learn how to do surface embellishment. Plus they learned a really cool way of putting in a zipper. So it's different than any other way. And then they learned how to do the rivets. So that was kind of fun. And this, again, was just a different construction. The lining was quilted with the whole thing because we use a different stabilizer. So those are just really fun. So that's what we did. That's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks, is teaching those classes. And that's been really fun. So this week, and this is a project I've been working on since March. You probably remember the Beckah beach bag. That was the letter B. Okay. Remember that? And I used this black mesh screen that I bought at Lowe's or Home Depot because that's all I could find. Well, guess what? You ready? We now have pink. Let's go with the overhead camera here, Barb. Let's show them all the fun colors we have. We've got pink. That's the IPVOV. Yeah, right there. Yeah. We've got pink. We've got purple. Look at those fun colors. Look at that. We've got yellow, aqua, apple green, and tan. What do you think? 6 new colors. Isn't that fun? Yeah, super fun. And it feels really nice. I've been working with this and I've been sewing with this, doing some test samples, and it's so nice to work with. So we're really, really excited about that. In fact, I think Barb's, you spent all day just packaging that stuff, huh?
Cutting and packaging.
Cutting and packaging. I mean, it can. So just to show you, you can do embroidery on it. So this is the accessory bag that's in my Beckah beach bag. This little bag right here. This bag right here. So I did this embroidery tonight. I just left it in the hoop to show you. So I use water soluble stabilizer when I do this, and then I base in the hoop. And I use some metallic thread. I use some of that lame stylus. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. I don't know if you can see the sparkles here. Can you see the sparkles?
A little bit.
Can I see the sparkles? Yeah, it's kind of sparkly. So I just wanted to show you that because it's just super fun. But I love how it stitches out on the yellow versus the black. Isn't it? Looks so much. I think it shows up so much more, don't you think? So anyway, so that's that story. So we're going to do just a few steps with the mesh. So this is the beach bag. I did the embroidery earlier. Okay. And we'll zoom in on that a little bit. And again, I think if you look at this and you look at the black here, I think the yellow shows up much better. It's just really fun. So I'm thinking of all the things that you can do. Is there anything? I see some people writing. Are there anything I need to see? Oh, Susie saying she uses the mesh. Would you read what Susie says? Can you read that?
Susie says, I use this type of mesh in my bags. I'm so excited that you are now carrying this. I embroider on my bags with no problem whatsoever. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, 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 Susie. Yes, I'm so excited. So this stuff is not on our website yet, but if you're a preferred member, if you call me and you want to place an order, we can get it out to you. It's not on our website yet. And we're going to do a special for our preferred members before we actually send it out to the public. So if you're on our preferred list, if you're, a webinar member and you've got a paid subscription, you're going to get the information first. But if you want to do this beforehand, you can email me or email Terry and say, oh, I saw that mesh. Can I order some? And Terry will work up an order. You know how she is. She's so good about that.
So Sue Ellen Gary has a question.
Sue Ellen, what's your question?
Do you use a wash away stabilizer with the mesh?
Yes, that's what I use, is a wash away stabilizer. So I did 2 layers under this, and then I just washed it away. So yeah, it's done. That's it.
So Jean, excuse me. Jean wants to know, is the mesh ready to be shipped? I want to order colors. And what is the price?
These are, I believe it's $19.90 for a yard. Put it back in my face, Barb.
Oh,
if you don't
sorry.
mind. So this is $19.90 a yard. And when I say a yard, it's not a skimpy 36-inch wide yard. It is a 36-inch long by 58 inches. So you are going to make a lot of stuff. This is this for $19.90. That's the retail. Okay. And if you have a wholesale account with us, then you can just call Terry and she can set you up with that. So that is, I think that's a really good deal.
Vicky wants to know, is it cloth or plastic water soluble stabilizer?
I used, I didn't use the plastic one. I used the cloth one. It's the stuff that kind of almost looks like, here, you can see it because I did it here and I kind of patched it. Let me go back over here. It's this stuff right here. You can zoom in here. Whoops, let me hand it. This stuff right here. That's what I use. Okay.
Sorry.
You're fine. You're doing fine. This is she doing a great job, ladies. I mean, this is not easy because I a lot and she's like, and there's this a little teeny arrow at the bottom of the screen which she has to click, and that gives her cameras. And she has to know the name of the cameras. So this composition here, this stuff it's PVC. Now this looks more blue on my monitor, but this is actually, if you have our aqua colored zippers, this is exactly the same color as our aqua colored zippers. It's made out of PVC and polyester. Okay. What does that mean? Well, that means that if you have a regular iron, you're probably going to need a pressing cloth to iron it, but you can press it. One nice thing is when you press it, it gets really soft. If you have a Laura Star with the Teflon shoe, you can iron right on the fabric. Okay. You don't need to do anything special. So question.
So there's one question.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I can't, it looks like maybe Eva. She says, I don't embroider. Could I use with 8 and 12 weight thread on my Euphoria cover stitch?
You know, Eva, I have not done that, but you know what? I'm going to try it. I bet you can. I bet you can. And I don't have a surgery set up tonight or else I would try it. But I'll try it. I will, that's a good question, Eva. I will try to do a project with cover stitch and chain stitch for that to see how that works, because I bet you can. You might still need to use the water soluble stabilizer to just kind of give it a little body and then wash it away. In fact, I'm sure if you use the stabilizer, you would be able to use your cover stitch on it, but you might need to use the stabilizer with it. Okay. Even because it stitches out really nice. I'm pretty impressed. So I'm just going to show you with my iron, with the Teflon shoe. See, I can iron right on there. See, and it doesn't do anything to it. You know, in fact, when I made this vinyl wallet, this is vinyl. I know it looks kind of like leather, but I made this. I can iron this with this iron, and it doesn't hurt it either. So if you've got a Laura Star, you can use that with that, and then you can use your stabilizer. If you don't have a Laura Star, you're going to have to use a pressing mat. Okay, or pressing mesh. Okay. All right. So I just want to show you a little bit about how we're not going to be able to make the whole Beckah bag, but I can walk you through a few of the steps and some of the little tricks with that pattern. So I'm going to fold this in half and we're going to sew a seam. Now, here's the thing, because this is like a vinyl or kind of a PVC plasticky kind of feel. I think what it is, I think it's like a polyester core and then it's dipped in PVC, like liquid PVC. You can see it up close. It's really lovely. You might have some problem with your foot doing a little drag. So I would recommend doing a Teflon foot. I'm liking this foot right here. This is a Teflon foot, but it's got little wheels on it. It's got little wheels in the back and little wheels in the front. Okay. And I really like this foot for doing this kind of thing because the okay, where are we here? Just get lined up. There we go. What's nice with this is I don't get any drag at all on my fabric. And if you have a problem with your fabric dragging, even if you're not sewing a vinyl, if your fabric's kind of dragging, try this Teflon foot with a little wheel because it really works nice. If you don't have a place to get these, I do have them. I don't, it's not on my website, but I can get one to you. So I'm just stitching here. I've got to stitch like the 3.0. I'm going to bring that down a little bit. I'm going to bring it up to 2.4. Just make it a little smaller here. So I'm going to press the seam open because I want it to lie flat. And the thing is with this material, it doesn't want to really lie flat. So I'm going to show you what I do to get that seam to lie flat on for me.
So there's a few questions.
Sure.
Judy wants to know how much is the Teflon foot with wheels?
That I do not know off the top of my head, Judy, but I'm guessing it's probably about $20 to $25. I have to look it up because I ordered some, but I do not know the price.
So Sue Ellen Gary wants to know, does that foot fit on most machines with clip-on feet?
This foot will fit a brother, a Bernina, no, a brother, a Baby Lock, a Juki, a Janome. It will fit a Bernina if you have the Bernina with, go back to the machine. It will fit the Bernina if you have a Bernina, the adapter ankle. So it'll fit several different feet. Yes. Here.
What is the needle size?
I'm using a 60. What's it called? What is it called? I'm going to look at my needle board here. It's the Teflon needle, but we don't say Teflon. It's the Schmetz super needle. It's that one. You can see if I can find it here on my board. It's the super, I'm using the vinyl needles, the Schmetz vinyl needles. But you could also use the super needles. Yeah, the super nonstick needles. I think they're very similar. They both look kind of gray.
Yes,
Okay.
Vicky Watkins just responded, super non-pick by
Schmetz, yeah. Thank you, Vicky. All right, so I'm just took my arm here so I can kind of get in here a little bit. I have this put on a three-step zigzag. And my width, I'm going to make just a wide width here, about 7.0. And I'm just going to sew right over this seam, and I'm going to sew it open with matching thread. So you can see it goes, it's not just back and forth, it goes like this. It goes three steps over, and I'm actually making I'm going to make it a little longer stitch length here.
Eileen Jones would like to know, is the Emma waist bag ready to order and how much is it?
So none of the patterns are ready yet that I showed you. You're getting a sneak preview. All of my patterns sell for $15. We don't sell the bag, we only sell the pattern. The Emma bag will have two different views. So there's two different ways that you can attach it. One of them is with a sleeve that you can slide a belt through, and one is with an attached belt. So there's two different views, but that pattern won't be ready. We're going to release the alphabet series in order. So the next one coming out is the duffel bag, but the Emma bag will probably be out before the end of the year. So we've got two more to release this year. It's up a little bit. So see how nice and flat that seam is lying now? It's just nice and flat, and you don't even really see that stitching, do you? Just kind of blends right in. That's the cool thing about this weave. You can stitch on it, and even on the right side, it barely shows. To do the box corners on here, I'm going to line this up. And this is my bottom. And I've got to look on the pattern here because I don't remember. Okay, so it's 1.5 inches on the sides using the 7-corner ruler and 2 inches on the bottom. Why is it 2 measurements? Well, I'm going to explain that. So this side and this side are finished. They're finished seams, but this is just a raw edge. So we have to add the extra 1/2 inch seam allowance. Let's go in just a little more here for you. So we're going 1.5 inches here, which is 3 lines on my 7-corner ruler, and 2 inches in here. Okay, so I'm going to put my cutting mat underneath my rotary cutter, and we're just going to cut out that corner. Actually, I should sew my fabric on here first, but I'll just show you how to do the corners. We're not going to get the whole bag finished, but we can get some done. I just want to show you some of the tricks here. Okay. There's a little thread. There we go. And then we do the other corner.
So Lucero would like to know, what would happen if you used normal zigzag stitching on that seam?
Well, normal zigzag stitching would work, but problem is if you use normal zigzag, okay, I got a light glare there. If you use normal zigzag stitching, it's going to show more. That's all. By doing the 3-step zigzag, it kind of falls into the holes more and it blends in with the weave. Okay. You could use a zigzag. You could use any multi-positional stitch, but by using the 3-stitch zigzag. So if you don't have a 3-stitch zigzag on your machine and you just have a regular zigzag, then just use that. You know, ladies, I give you what I think are my best suggestions, but it's not gospel. You know, I mean, I know from teaching, a lot of my students will do it differently, and that is perfectly okay with me. So this is how I would do my box corners. I would sew that seam, and then I would box this in. Just flatten this out.
What you're doing. There you go. Thank you.
After I sew this seam, I'm not going to sew the seam because I have to add fabric to the bottom. But that goes just like that. So let's do that. Let's add a piece of fabric to the bottom. I'm going to press this in half lengthwise. I decided this would be a fun fabric to put on my beach bag. What do you think? It's kind of fun, huh? Big flowers. Could maybe match the pattern a little better, but take this, follow me to the machine. I want to sew this, make it 2.
All right, so I've got a question.
What's
So
the question?
Let me get you to the machine,
And then you'll ask the question.
and then I'll ask the question.
Okay.
So they want, excuse me, Eva wants to know, is that home deck fabric or cotton?
This is both. Eva, it's a cotton home deck fabric is what it is.
So Susie Maloney says the coat that you sell would be great to use on the fabric to waterproof the bottom of the bag.
Oh, that's a good idea, Susie. I didn't think about using the Oda coat. Yeah.
Coat, excuse me for
that's okay.
the
That's okay.
mispronunciation. So Eileen Costello, why wouldn't you attach the cotton fabric to the plastic before you sew up the side?
Oh, you were supposed to, Eileen. I just wasn't reading the directions. Thank you for busting me on that one. I'm telling you what, Barb, I can't get away with anything with these girls.
I see that.
Oh, thank you, Eileen. That's very good. And that is a part of the pattern. I should have put this on first, but I didn't. So.
Thank you, Susie. You're a darling too.
Barb, if I can ever get Susie to get on a plane again, you might get to meet her someday.
Awesome.
I didn't mean to push that button.
Eileen says she's glad to see she's not the only one who makes mistakes. And Susie Maloney responds, drugs and alcohol.
I haven't done either one. That's maybe what, that's why I haven't had a drink yet today. Maybe that's why, right? I am tired. So I was telling you I had to hop a ferry, and then of course I got caught in more construction. And then I paid for my ferry ticket. I give the guy $100 bill because I didn't have any small bills anymore. And he gave me change for 20. So I had to go back in line. I realized it as I'm in the queue for the ferry. So I had to spin around, and then I had to wait behind 4 cars, and I missed the next boat. It's just been crazy. Oh. He knew it too, because when I pulled up, he had 420s for me. Okay. So this, it should have, as Eileen pointed out so kindly, this should have gone in first, but it's okay. This is the cool thing. Sometimes if you make a mistake, you can just kind of just override it, you know? So what I do when I have a seam on one side, I actually make the other seams the opposite. So I'm going to take this seam and I'm going to line it up here with the center on this side.
Eva, it just goes to show you can teach an old dog new tricks.
What'd she say?
She said she thanked me for learning something new tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Barb, Barb, I gotta tell you, Barb's been pretty good about learning a lot of new stuff. She never knows when she walks in the door what's gonna happen that day, right, Barb?
That's right. That's why it's an adventure.
Yep. Well, one of my favorite sayings is life should be a daring adventure or nothing at all. And that, who said that?
Very true.
Helen Keller. That's one of her quotes. So I will be down in Florida for the next 10 days, so there won't be a webinar next week. But hopefully I'll find someone to run cameras for the next one, because Barb does bowl on Tuesday nights a lot of times. So, and that's how I met Barb. I call her my husband's bowling wife.
So Sheila wants to know, how's your mom doing?
Mom's doing real good. Although I don't know if any of you heard, she tried to jump a ditch a couple weeks ago. And she fell on her face and almost broke her nose. So we were supposed to go get her passport application, but I didn't want her getting her picture taken with her face all black and blue and two black eyes. So that's why we did that today. But she's doing good. I think she's really excited about getting to Florida. So, and I'm excited about getting her back down there because it's starting to get cold around here.
Calling for snow on Friday.
Are they calling for snow?
They are.
I will be in Florida.
Don't rub it in.
What? Who said that? Susie? Well, I am counting the days till ski season opens, so. So yes, it would have been easier to put this on first, but seems like it's doing okay. The fabric doesn't seem to be traveling much. It's got a little bit of a travel. I'm going to see if I can kind of stretch this out a little bit here. It's traveling just a tiny bit.
So Lucero wants to know, what are you going to be doing there?
In Florida, well, I have to on Friday take my mom to get blood work because she's having surgery next week. So basically, it's just medical stuff with my mom, getting her resettled and everything. There'll be a lot of grocery shopping to do and restocking the house and unpacking of some stuff that we brought down and had shipped. So just kind of getting the house ready for winter down there,
Debbie Burns says, come and see her.
I think I'll be pretty busy, Debbie. I've got a lot to do. Some of us are not retired. I still have to work every day, even though I'm in Florida. Terry's going to be on my case every day about doing stuff. Okay, I've got a little pucker here, which I'm not happy about. And if I'd done this the right way, I wouldn't have this. But you know what? It is what it is.
Eva, you said you've got 97 degrees. It's only about 40 something here.
Yeah, it's cold.
And windy.
And windy and rainy. I don't know what should I do because it's puckery here. I'm going to see if I can work this out. There's a ripper here.
I apologize to the last two gals. I didn't see that you were looking to be admitted, Margot, and I apologize. I didn't see the other lady's name. So excuse me for not admitting you sooner.
Yeah, ladies, if you're just joining us right now, I've got Barb here behind the scenes, and this is her first time doing this. So just be a little patient because she's never done this before. So, but I think she's doing pretty good. You're trying to work in these little puckers because, as Eileen pointed out, if I'd put this on first, I wouldn't have this problem. Oh, mercy me. But we had two really good boot camps back to back. We just had some lovely ladies and just a lot of fun. So
Where in Florida do you go, Pam?
I'm going to be about 40 miles southeast of Orlando. We're flying into the Orlando area. I'm about 40 minutes from the Orlando airport in a place called Haines City. Mom and I have a little double wide in a park, a little senior 55 and over park. I've got a little tuck there, but it's on the back side, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the rest of this out. So I'll show you how I do the bottom while I'm doing this. Yeah, so we have a nice, it's a nice little place. I like it. It's small, but it's a very lovely park and well maintained, and we've got lots of family in the area, so that's fun. And I've got some friends, and probably be playing some pinochle next week because I have friends that play pinochle. Okay. So let's turn it inside out to do the bottom. The one thing I do want to show you, because I can't show you the whole bag, and the pattern does come with a video tutorial start to finish, okay? I want to show you how we do the straps, because I think I figured out a really cool way of doing the straps. So we're going to sew the bottom seam here.
Do you normally use double-sided tape to attach the mesh to the fabric instead of pins?
I use double-sided tape a lot. So yeah, that would work really well. I mean, if I had put that on, I probably wouldn't have had the fabric traveling. Now to do the box corner, all I do is I line up these two seams. Let me pull the camera back up a little bit so they can get a better view here. I'm going to put the table back on. I will go and press the seam open in a minute. I just line up, pull out that notch out that I cut in the corner and open that seam. And we're going to sew right across that end.
I'm sorry, Lucero, I didn't mean to mispronounce your name.
Oh, did we pronounce it wrong?
I pronounced it Lucero. And
Oh, Lucero.
It's Lucero.
Oh, sorry, Lucero.
My sincerest apologies.
We are, for any of you, I know there's been some inquiries. We are planning another mission trip to Peru early February. And if you've been wanting to come with us, we are gonna take applications. We haven't sent out anything formally yet, but I will send it out in the newsletter. But if you are interested in taking a working, life-changing vacation, it's definitely worth doing.
Does that mean a plane ride?
It does mean a plane ride, yeah. Is that Susie?
Yes, Susie.
Kind of hard to get to South America without getting on a plane. It's a long trip, but you know what? It's well worth it. As I'm sure your sister has told you, because Susie's sister went on it. So now we can turn this right side out.
Eileen said she would love to go, but she's going on a cruise to Antarctica. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
too bad. So sad. Maybe next time, Eileen. Okay, so
Better late than never, Christy.
you're just getting on.
Yep, she's apologizing for being late.
All right. So there's our bag. And then we have our fabric we're going to put on the top. Okay. So I want to show you my little trick that I used to do the top here, because when I did my first one, the fabric was like tight on the outside and like puckery on the inside. So I'm going to show you my little trick here. So I've taken my fabric and I folded it with the edges over, and I'm just going to press it in half here. And this fabric I do put on after the bag is sewn, where the bottom I wouldn't have, I would put it on before.
Suzanne would like to know, where does she get the application for the mission?
We'll send out and if you have our newsletter, Suzanne, if you're on our mailing list, we're going to send it out in the newsletter. We're going to send an email to all of our previous people first to give them the first opportunity, and then we will send it out in the newsletter after that. So they're going to be notified this coming week. So maybe in another week or two, we'll start sending stuff out. So ideally what I want to do is make the fabric on the outside a little bigger than the fabric on the inside. Does that make sense, folks? Okay. Yeah, I hope you're all nodding your heads. Yes. Okay. So when I do the seam, I'm going to make the seam basically 2 different sizes. Okay. So I'm going to start here with doing maybe about 5/8 of an inch here, bigger seam here. Okay. Line up those edges a little better. And right before I get to where the center crease is, I'm going to jig over to the other side here. So I'm going to go almost to the center crease. And then I'm going to do like 3 stitches diagonally. And then I'm going to come down.
Why do you do those 3 stitches diagonally before the crease?
I do it over the crease. I do this.
Over the crease.
I do this to transition from a fat seam to a skinny seam. Okay. So what ends up happening is this side ends up being bigger than the other side. And that way, when we do the small side is going to go to the inside of the bag. Just going to mark this with my chalk so I can see where that goes. So the small seam goes on the outside here. I'm just going to fold this at the crease here. Let me just fold this at the crease. Okay, this is the outside. It just makes the whole bag life a little flatter.
Sheila wants to know, so you're making room for the thickness of the mesh to fit?
Exactly. I'm allowing for the thickness of the mesh. Because the mesh doesn't really have a whole lot of give to it. It's pretty stable. But just think about all the things that we can do with these mesh bags. We can make like gym bags because they would breathe, right? Like my husband, when he does his per diem work at the prison, he has to have a bag that you can see through. I can make him a bag to go to, like a lunch bag to go to work. I'm going to make a new doggy bag for Marty with this because it's great for pets because I'm going to bring this out a little more because it breathes, right? There's just, besides just a beach bag and laundry bags, like to wash lingerie in the washer. You could do that for, your delicates. I'm just thinking grocery sacks be great for groceries, right?
Susie uses it for scuba gear.
Oh yeah, it'd be great for scuba gear. Yeah. Or like if you wanted to, if you were, it's very lightweight. If you were going like hiking or something, you could make a backpack out of it. There's just so much you can do with it. Oh, I just cut myself and I'm getting blood on this now. Just pick myself. Well, it's a good thing it's my bag, right? So anyway. So by making the outside of the bag just a little bit bigger, and I'm not going to sew this all the way around because I want to show you some more stuff and we're running low on time. But you can see by doing this, the bag now, this is just a little bit bigger. Isn't that cute?
I love it.
It's really cute, isn't it? So you're just going to pin this down. I would just kind of push this fold down to the top of the foam, and you can either use like a wonder clip or you can use pins to secure it. Okay, but you can see it lies really flat now. When I did the first bag that I made, the mesh was all kind of ripply, and I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here? It's because the outside was kind of pulling it in. Okay, and you can see now it doesn't do that. It lies really flat.
Lucero wants to know, is there any danger when sewing that mesh of breaking the needle?
Well, there's always a danger of breaking the needle if you're sewing something too heavy, but I haven't had any problem with it so far. Okay. So that's a good question. All right. I want to show you the trick that I found out when I was doing this on the strap, because I think that's really important. So I did the strap with some webbing. And when I did the first one, the inside of the strap was all like little wrinkles, little puckers of the fabric. And so when you would hold it, you could feel all these puckers and it was just like, it wasn't comfortable. So this is what I figured out. So I have a piece of fabric that's pressed, okay? And I have my mesh, okay? So I'm gonna put some basting tape on here. You can use the basting tape or the permanent double stick tape. I don't remember what I said in the pattern. I kind of forgot. I use the permanent double stick tape in my pattern, but you could probably use the basting tape too. So I'm going to put 2 rows of basting tape on the strapping. You're gonna like this trick. This trick's really cool. And I'm going to put it in just a little bit from the edge because I don't want to sew into it because it can gum up. Even a nonstick needle can get a little gummy. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to place this on here. Just centering it on my strap. And I'm going to make the strap a little longer, okay? Okay. Then what I do is I roll it. And see when you roll it, see how it's all puckery? I'm going to zoom in a little bit. See that? And that's what I was talking about the straps. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to roll it. And I'm just actually going to maybe unstick it just for a little bit. And I'm going to roll it into a circle. And as I roll it, I'm going to restick it here, kind of making sure it's lined up.
Can't really see what.
Sorry. Thank you, Barb.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. So I'm just kind of rolling this around.
How do you get your ends of basting tape to start? I always have trouble getting them to peel. That was from Eileen Costello.
Okay, Eileen, let me show you. You know what? It's so easy when I show you this. You're going to go, oh, okay. Are you ready? You don't start at the end, Eileen. So let me just show you again here. We'll do it on this one. And you see this, you're gonna slap your forehead. Don't start at the end, start on the side and kind of curl it. Kind of curl it like that. Of course, now it's not peeling. Let me just make sure it's really down there. I just go to from the side like this. And it tends to, that's gonna make a lie out of the other one, just came off so easy, huh? There we go. Eileen, you're doing a good job of making me feel silly tonight. There we go. Just go sideways, okay? So I just like peel it sideways like this. Peel it sideways, okay? And it seems to come off easier, okay? If you have problems too with it sticking, hit it with the iron a little bit because sometimes the heat will help it to like, you know, and then it'll mold a little better, okay? All right, so getting back to this, I'm rolling this around and I'm just rolling this on here. Kind of holding it like this, that. And see how much shorter it is? Because now what I've done is I've kind of created a permanent curl in here. So if I straighten it, you see this is kind of puckery. That's the way I want to sew it because when I have it on the bag, I don't want those puckers from the fabric, okay? So I leave it curled like this. And this is the end that I haven't done anything with it. I'm actually going to fold that end over. And that's going to be how my stop's going to finish here. Okay. But I want to sew it from this side because I want to see this for top stitching. And I leave it curled. Press it down. Don't let it travel. Just press it. I want to keep all of that excess in the webbing. And then when we do the other side, we'll do the other side the same way.
Will you be offering, webbing in the future?
You know, I could be. I don't know. I haven't decided. I do have some webbing. So if you have trouble finding it and you can't find what you want, I do have some. So let's go back to the iron or the table. So you see when this is curled now, there's no puckers on the inside. If I straighten it up, it's a little bit puckery like this, but you know what? It's not going to be on the bag straight. It's always going to be curled. Okay. The last little trick I want to show you is putting in a zipper with the webbing. This particular bag is going to have a little inside pocket here. So I just want to show you how we did that. And I've got some zipper here. I'm just going to cut a section of zipper. I'm going to use the rainbow zippers. I thought this could be really fun. In fact, I'm going to cut this over this. I want to show a lot of that yellow. So I'm seeing a lot of yellow there. I am going to use my zipper foot. And I'm going to engage my dual feeder. So ladies, I got to tell you the real reason Barb agreed to do this webinar tonight is because I let her hold the dog all night. She's got little Marty on her lap.
That's just part of it.
That's just part of it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just sew this side of the zipper here, and I've got my dual feeder engaged.
I think the rainbow zipper on the bag is super cute.
I like the rainbow zipper on the bag. I think it's cute too. So I'm going to sew this one in the same direction. I'm just going to take my foot out, put it on the other side. Go over just a little bit here. There we go. And I'm just going to put this together right here so we can stay right on this camera. So now I'm just going to finger press this. I will go back and iron this at some point.
When you sew zippers on, how do you make sure they are aligned?
Well, I
That's
start
from
them.
Lucero.
Lucero, I start those at the same. I start both sides of my zipper in the same direction.
Uh-oh, I did something wrong.
Okay, what did we do here? You just move the settings there. Yeah, just minimize that. There we go. Okay, so how do you know they're aligned? Well, if you start them both in the same direction, they're going to be lined up. And then when you put them out, put the slide on, you just need to make sure that you don't put the first slide, half of the slide on too far. Okay, and I do have video tutorials on my website on how to put the zipper slide on. And there we go. Now, right now, it's still open at this end. So I'm going to go right off. And this side's a little higher. So if that's the case, I might want to put this side on first and see if I can get them a little more even. But you know what? If they're close, that's much closer. See, the fabric's much more even there. So I'm going to go right off the end. Why do I go off the end? Because I want, once I get it right, I want to go off the end and then put it back on and one more time and leave the slide in the middle. Okay. But you know what? I'm actually going to do something different here. I don't want to have to turn this right side out because I'm going to go, let's go over to the iron. I need to iron this back because it's a little stiff. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Oh, not that much. Okay, so I'm going to just press this over. It's going to be a little easier to work with. So I'm actually going to do the zipper slide inside out. It's going to be a little easier for me because that way I don't need to turn it right side out after I'm done. So with the slide down, still using the rounded side, I'm going to put both ends in. Oops, I'm going to set it down on the table. It's a little easier. Put one side in, the other. And then go all the way off the end. That looks fairly even. So put it on again. And if you've got a lot of fuzzies like this, trim those off, but that just makes it a little harder. How many people do we have on tonight, Barb? Do you know?
Well, I've done something wrong because
You can't see the number?
I can't see the number and the chat box is very small. 101. Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Susie.
Thank you, Casey.
So we have a respectable crowd tonight. So I'm just gonna give this a little pressing like this. And that would be also on the sides. So I'm gonna go back to that Teflon foot. If I can find where I put it. I know we're a little bit after 8 o'clock, folks. So if you have to go, I understand. I just want to finish this up. We got a little late start, so we're just going to finish it a little late. And I'm back stitching over the zipper just to reinforce it. If you were waiting for the archive for the Chrissy Clutch webinar, I'm working on that archive. I'm not quite finished, but I'll have it done in the next day or so. So now that's done, I'm going to go back to the table. I'm going to turn this right side out.
Can a zipper be damaged by an iron?
I guess it could be if you don't have a Teflon shoe on your iron, it could be. Because they're polyester, so they could melt. It depends on the iron. See, my irons don't damage them because I have the Teflon shoes on my irons. So that's not a problem. You can buy a Teflon shoe just, for any iron. You can buy like a generic one. Okay, I'm going to poke this corner out. What can I use to poke? It's not going to hurt my bag here. I'm going to use the end of this friction pen here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give this some steam. Because when you steam it, it gets really soft and it's really easy to work with. See how much easier that is? And you poke that right out. Of course, it cools off pretty fast and then it gets stiff again. Same thing when you're working with vinyl. If you give it a good steam, it's soft. I learned that when I was about 10 years old, having my grandmother recover her kitchen chairs. Okay, so now this will go into this bag before we sew down this. This is going to just slide right in this little hem here. And then when we stitch this down, we're going to catch that pocket inside. We zoom out one here. Okay. And then we sew our straps on and our bag's done. Well, we have to put the bag bottom in to make it stiff. And I'll go back to show you the actual bag again, so you can see. Here is the little mesh bag. And here's the Beckah bag again. It's got a nice stiffener in the bottom, and that bag sandwich is made with 2 pieces of Flex and Firm and a piece of plastic canvas. And then I just tape it down with double stick tape. The strap, I just fold this over and then just stitch it on both sides, stitch a little box on both sides, and that's how I'm going to put that strap in. Okay. And there's not much more to it. Any questions before we sign off? Mark's over the camera, so give her a minute.
Oh, sorry, I want to go to the whole.
Go to the Logitech first.
Logitech, excuse me, okay.
Yep. Any questions?
A lot of people are saying how cute it is. Good to see you. Thank you. It's a fun bag.
Thank you. So do you like the new mesh? It's fun, isn't it? All the fun colors. Yeah. Are you excited?
Will you
Good.
post this to watch later?
Yeah. I'll do an instant replay on this. We'll do an instant replay. So, yeah. So if you miss something, I'll post it on YouTube. So just go to YouTube. You should always, you guys should sign up to follow me on YouTube. So if you don't see the emails, at least you get a notification from YouTube when I do update something. You should all, if you haven't already, just, I don't know exactly how that works, but I know that I've got like 6,000 followers on YouTube. So, and I will post something and within minutes, like 25 people have already seen it because they get a notification. And then, an hour later, like 100 people have seen it. So just, go ahead and look that up. So, okay. So thank you for joining us. I'll see you in about 2 weeks. And I don't know who will be on this other side of the cameras.
It might be me.
It might be Barb, or it might be somebody else. We don't know. We'll get somebody. God always takes care of me. So thank you, everybody. Take care and happy sewing.
Thank you, ladies.